Welcome back, guys. Here's another review type video. I have a couple more books. I've been kind of in a reading slump, to really be honest with you guys. I think after being extremely disappointed with Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by B.H. Robb, reading has just kind of gone downhill, which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes that just means like you need to focus on other hobbies and then come back to, reading and stuff like that. But Friday I was kind of slowish at work, so I finished two books. I finished Chlorine by Jade Son and The Coven by Harper L. Woods. These were both 3-star books. I'm going to start with Chlorine because that was the first book I finished. So this is about a girl. She's on the swim team. She thinks she's a mermaid. It's supposed to be a horror based off of kind of how I found out about this book and who I found it from. I was thinking it was a horror book. A lot of the horror, and this is kind of the thing that I saw about when I read Grady Hendrix' book, the Wayward Girls book, is a lot of the horror was just about being a female and kind of what females go through and stuff like that. So if that's your kind of horror, I could see you really liking this book. I like this book because it's about somebody that was on the swim team and kind of what you go through with being on the swim team. A lot of the things like this character was going through, I went through when I was on the swim team. So, and things that I had to deal with and everything like that. So the relatability kind of kept me reading this book. But to me, there wasn't much horror. There was not such a fantastical thing. She could have turned into a mermaid at the end. She could have not. I don't know. The ending was very confusing. Most of this book was very, day-to-day life, which is usually fine if you can write it really well. And if it's usually this short of a book, I don't mind too much of a day-to-day and then, large time skips. But this book was just a 3-star. It was okay. If you want to experience it just because you've heard of the book, I would suggest it, but it just was not for me. And then Harper L. Woods, The Coven. I know they're at a university. It's like a enemies to lovers. Yeah, this just didn't go anywhere. I'm tempted to maybe read the second book just to see if it gets anywhere. Yeah, but they're at this university. It's an enemies to lovers, and it did not hit me like the other book that Harper L. Woods wrote, which I think is, let me see. Oh. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, just kind of was a disappointment. Nothing too exciting to report. I just felt like I read it. I know what happens at a university. I know they're an enemies to lovers, but after that, there was some good banter in the other book, but not as good as the other book. It was just not as good as the other start to the other Harper L. Woods series. And then I'm still working on The Deer and the Dragon by Piper C.J. And then I started Heart Wax by ML Rio. I'm hoping to finish this. Finish this and Hot Wax and only have 2 more books from the library is my goal. Because I feel like I've had these books forever. I don't really think I have. I think they give you I think they've shortened the time that they give you at my library, which is completely and totally fine. But I think they used to give you a month, and I think they shortened it, which is completely fine. They automatically usually like renew me like automatically if they haven't seen the book, so it's not usually that big of a deal. But yeah, so there's 2 books right there. But otherwise, I hope you have a really good one, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.